I'm 27, male, work in IT, live in the Midwest. Been renting a 2-bedroom apartment near my job for about 3 years. I don't party, don't cause drama, just pay rent, work, game, and mind my business. Last year, I had a roommate, let's call him R. We met through mutuals, seemed decent, paid his share on time. He wasn't the cleanest, but whatever. We split bills, shared the place, and it was chill for a while. Everything went south when I ended up in the hospital. Out of nowhere, I got hit with appendicitis, then post-op complications. I was in and out for about 10 days total. I let my landlord know, texted R, told him I'd be back as soon as I could. Didn't expect flowers or anything. Just figured my room would still be there when I returned. Spoiler, it wasn't. The day I got discharged, I called to let him know I'd be back that evening. No answer. No response to texts. I figured he was busy. Got a ride home, walked up to the apartment, and my key didn't work. Thought maybe the lock was changed for maintenance or something. I buzzed the building super, who looked at me kind of weird and said, "Thought you moved out?" I laughed, said no, and asked him to let me in. He did, reluctantly. When I got inside, my room was empty. Like completely cleared out. No bed, no clothes, no safe, nothing. The walls were bare. I walked in slow, not even sure if I was dreaming or what. I was sitting in the living room with his mom, like it was some Sunday afternoon. She looked up, rolled her eyes, and said, "Oh, you're back. No, how are you feeling? No, glad you're okay. Just, you're back." I asked where my stuff was. Or looked uncomfortable. His mom didn't even flinch. "We assumed you weren't coming back," she said. "You didn't communicate." I reminded them I had been in the hospital and that I did communicate. She said, "Well, you should have made that clearer. We needed the space. My son pays more rent anyway." He didn't. We split evenly. I even covered internet and power. I asked again, "Where's my stuff?" She shrugged. "Some of it's in storage. The rest was donated." I stood there in shock, thinking it had to be a joke. Then I remembered I had a fireproof safe in the back of my closet. It wasn't huge, but it had personal stuff, birth certificate, passport, some savings and cash, and a USB with backups of important files. Gone. That's when it clicked. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a setup. I didn't yell. I just turned, walked out, and called the police. They told me it was a civil matter and I need to go to small claims court. I filed the next day. Now, here's where it gets fun. Turns out R's mom had not gotten approval from the landlord to remove me. She tried to lie and say I'd moved out and abandoned the place. But my rent had been paid. I had written proof. I'd notified both the landlord and R, and I had camera footage from the building showing them moving stuff out while I was in the hospital. So I sued both of them for the value of my belongings, emotional distress, and unlawful eviction. My uncle's a lawyer, and while he doesn't do housing law, he pointed me to someone who did. She helped me organize everything. In court, or try to play dumb. His mom came in loud and smug, talking over the judge, acting like this was a big waste of time. She claimed I'd been freeloading, that I wasn't family, so she had a right to reclaim the space since she was helping her son manage the apartment. Judge didn't buy it. I had receipts, timestamps, and even screenshots of messages where she said stuff like, "Just throw his stuff out. He's not coming back." The judge asked where my belongings went. She proudly said, "Someone to Goodwill. The rest is gone." Judge looked at her for a solid 5 seconds and just said, "So, you admit to disposing of property that wasn't yours." She finally started backpedaling, saying she thought it was abandoned, she was just helping her son, blah, blah, blah. Didn't matter. Judgment in my favor. $8,440 for property loss, another $2,000 for illegal eviction and court fees. She tried to appeal, but was denied. That judgment's sitting nice and pretty on her credit report now. But didn't stop there. A couple weeks later, the building super told me she came back, trying to get into the unit, claiming she left something behind. Super didn't let her in, but she lingered for a while, even messed with the lock. I had a door camera installed by then, caught her on video, reported it. Cops issued a formal trespass warning. One more stunt like that, and she'd be looking at charges. Around that time, someone sent me screenshots. She was ranting on Facebook about how I ruined her life, lied in court, and got her fired. fired. Because after all this, I sent a very polite email to her employer, a local dental clinic. Told them one of their employees was found liable in court for theft, unlawful eviction, and had violated a restraining notice. Didn't hear back, but 2 days later, her clinic scrubbed her from their staff page. A week after that, she was officially gone. Apparently, the place she lived in was tied to her job, so when she lost it, she had 60 days to vacate. She didn't make it 30, or wasn't doing much better. Word had spread. He tried couch surfing, posting online about needing help getting back on his feet. A couple mutuals told him to kick rocks. He applied for jobs and used me as a reference, without asking. One of the places called me. I told the truth, that he had an active court judgment against him and had been involved in an unlawful eviction. He didn't get the job. He also tried renting a room from a guy I knew from college. That guy asked around first. I said, "You sure about that?" He backed off immediately. At one point, his mom tried to sue me for emotional distress. Said I ruined her life, caused her unemployment, and ran a smear campaign. She even hired a private investigator to dig up dirt. The PI showed up at my door. I let her in, offered coffee, and handed her a folder with everything: legal docs, video, texts, receipts, police reports. She looked at me and said, "Off the record? This case is a waste of time." A couple weeks later, the court threw out her claim with prejudice. And because she was extra bold, she also started a GoFundMe to help her recover from housing discrimination. Used my real name, cropped eviction papers, and made herself look like a victim. I reported it. GoFundMe nuked it, and she had to refund the donations or face fraud charges. She ended up banned from the platform too. Best part? I filed a separate small claims case against her for property damage and breach of agreement. He didn't show up. Default judgment. He owes me nearly $5,000 now. And in my state, I can garnish up to 25% of his wages. Haven't done it yet. Just keeping it in my pocket for when he thinks he's finally back on track. Last I heard, he's working at a gas station. His mom's crashing with family in a 2-bedroom with 5 people. Meanwhile, I'm still here. Rent paid. New locks. New furniture. Same job. Peace and quiet. Sometimes, revenge isn't loud. It's paperwork. Like watching entitled people crash and burn. Hit that follow. It's cheaper than a court fee and way more satisfying.